The Joe Rogan Experience.
Podcast 130 what? What is it?
No.
130? 29?
I don't know.
I don't know. With Joe Diaz, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, Mad Flavor. Joey Diaz came here, he got stuck in traffic, and he came here all worked up and angry. And when Joey Diaz is angry, doesn't matter how much weed you give him. It ain't gonna fucking come. This weed sucks. It sucks behind the weed. This is what's going on. Joey Diaz is starting this new thing on YouTube called Mad Flavors World. And what is the YouTube channel? What is it?
Mad Flavor World, YouTube.com or something like that.
Mad Flavor World.
I don't know
Just look
no
up
fucking links.
Mad Flavor World on YouTube, and it's all just videos of Joe Diaz going about his day, letting bitches know. Is this the video of the traffic?
Look how bad I am. I can't deal with this shit at 7:30 at night. I don't fuck around, though.
Hello, everybody. I'm here with my friend Ari Shaffir.
Hi guys, I'm Ari Shaffir that he's just referencing.
Ari Shaffir just got back from a tour of Canada.
The whole month. Ottawa, I saw Black Keys.
Did you see Black Keys live?
Yeah, they
Holy
delayed
shit.
for like an hour because the rain is up. Did you see that thing with the stage fell?
No.
They just had this thing in Ottawa the week after and it fell on Cheap Trick.
Whoa.
The whole stage just collapsed. It was that same stage that shut it down for an hour. A bunch of people left, but I wasn't gonna fucking leave. And they came on an hour late and played for like way over curfew.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
How many people were left still? How many people stayed?
I'd say probably 60-70% of them.
Wow. And it was just pouring.
And I asked on stage the next day, I was like, how many of you guys left before the Black Keys thinking it was canceled? And people like clapped. I'm like, kill yourselves. Kill yourselves.
The Black Keys are one of my favorite new bands, man. They're
Yeah.
fucking amazing. They're amazing. They're so throwback-ish, you know?
Yeah.
They're like what I was
Zeppelin.
talking about with cars. Like, I love a fucking car where you hear a real engine, you fucking... That's the Black Keys. There's harmonics to it. There's a sound to it. It's just like...
Yeah.
It's real fucking analog music, man. It's
Great.
real music.
Just two guys, really. These are two people here or there.
They're so badass. It's
And
so
then,
good.
at the end of the festival, Jeff Ross ran into this lead singer from the Flaming Lips, just randomly in the street, and they knew each other from Bonnaroo, and he's like, you should come to my show tomorrow. But we were gonna leave. He was like, you wanna just stay an extra day and just fucking see this concert backstage? It was the best concert I've ever been to.
Really?
It was all love and beautiful lights and colors. It was so fucking great.
Called the Flaming Lips?
The Flaming Lips, yeah.
What kind of music is it?
You know that song? They don't buy jelly. All these things
Yeah,
they
that's
like
a long time
tangerines.
Wow.
It's alt rock, I guess. But
Okay.
they've been around for 20 years. That song was 17 years ago. That's when that came out. And it's just so fucking awesome. I was bawling like 3 or 4 times. Not on anything.
Crying?
Yeah.
You were crying?
It was so beautiful. Let into your heart, folks. Don't be afraid.
Shut this fucking...
All right.
Don't be afraid.
No. What's
Allowing
happening to you?
beauty into your heart.
You're becoming a very different person when I
I
met
don't
you.
know. Maybe it's mushroom.
You're a very different person from when I met you. You're much more thankful. I used to talk about energy and karma, and I used to think it was all horseshit. But you've kind of changed your tune on all that.
I've
You're
opened
like,
up the idea that other people's experiences in life might be true, even if it's not for me.
is that what it is?
There's a lot of that, and also like other things are out there. I started seeing it. Sometimes it's just like it's easy. You can cut somebody off in traffic and not let them in. That's my thing. Like, I fucked that guy over. Or it's almost harder to fucking fit somebody in sometimes. And you're like, all right, I could fuck you over, but what is that good?
Right,
What
right,
does
right.
that doesn't make you feel good?
Makes you feel good to let people in.
Yeah,
It's true.
Makes me feel good to see this fucking wedding. I'm not even into marriages, but they had this wedding on stage, live on stage. And that guy, the lead singer, Wayne Coyne, he's just so fucking into it. He's like, by the power of the Flaming Lips, I now pronounce you husband and wife. And then they got
wow.
really married right afterwards. They got a justice of the peace right there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and he's fucking loving it and watching it. And then he gets this idea to go he has this, one of those guns that shoot off confetti. So he goes and runs behind him, waiting for them to get married, and then shoots it off. And
Wow.
this guy, after he gets finished playing an hour and a half, I'm sorry, I'm changed by this fucking concert.
Really?
He has these people, these girls dancing in like Dorothy outfits, and these boys dancing in Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion outfits, just sort of dancing and having fun on both sides of the stage. Afterwards, they get out of their costumes, take off their regular clothes. These are just people he picks out from the audience.
Right.
He talks to each one of them, signs a t-shirt for them, and talks to each of them for like 10 minutes. He spent another hour and a half to 2 hours just
Wow.
talking to these people who helped him out by dancing on stage.
Oh, that's cool.
Instead of saying, thanks guys, have a good night, which anyone would do.
Right.
It's just I don't know, I'm going to see them every time they're here. It's an amazing concert.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So what turned you around and made you this real super positive person? Because you know,
Deep depression was a lot of it, really deep depression. Yeah, that helped a lot. I just started saying, like, what's going to make me happy? I don't care about things I'm supposed to care about. It's just like, what's going to make me feel good right now? And
Well-
fucking somebody over doesn't.
it's hard being a comedian, man, in that sense that you know, you kind of are on your own. You know, you're kind of making your own destiny, and you kind of, you know, you don't have to think and behave the way everybody in the office does, because there is no fucking office.
Yeah.
You're kind of out there trying to sort out what is acceptable. So much of what we think of as acceptable is just patterns. Everybody just follows the pattern, and that's what's supposed to make you happy. Have a beer at the ball game. If that doesn't make you happy, well, you're fucked. Good luck. But you know,
So do something else that makes you happy. Yeah. You have no
being
idea what it is.
depressed made you just really focus on what the fuck it is that I like. Not what everybody wants me to like, but what do I like?
Yeah, and it's like, if somebody's gonna think I'm an asshole for doing this, somebody's gonna think I'm weak for doing whatever it is, it's like, that's cool. I don't care. I just care about making me happy.
But you used to even joke around about on stage about being a terrible person. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like that joke, because you're not a terrible person. I used to say, like, you're just kind of playing it up to make it make more sense the way you're about to say a joke.
It's probably
but
some
you're
of
not
it
a terrible
too, yeah.
person.
Some of it too is like, I feel like a terrible person when I do these few things because I'm a good person, so I feel horrible about the few things you might do wrong.
Right. But even them,
But
they
yeah,
weren't
probably
terrible
change it.
things. Yeah.
Whatever it was.
They were never terrible things. It was just sort of a method to get to them,
Yeah.
was to call yourself a terrible person. But you gotta always be careful about
Yeah,
doing
that's
that
probably
in front
too
of an
easy.
audience. People go to have a good time. They don't want to think they're having a good time, and this terrible cunt is spewing his fucking evil venom.
So I was raping this chick, you
Right,
know
Brian?
how it is, and the
Right,
music's
Brian?
too loud.
Why closing in on me, man? Trying to end this thing? I know his fucking methods.
keep
I
the
know his
video
editing
up.
methods. One of the beautiful things about the podcast that we have with Duncan is, well, even if we cover the same ground, we it's always different. We never run out of shit to talk about. There's always something. You know, there's always something to talk about.
Yeah. Totally, man. It goes to crazy places, and that never happens anywhere else.
Yeah, and you know, there's something that went on today that I've been meaning to tell you, but I never brought it up to you before, that how much you've evolved since you've had like this real serious relationship, man. It's really interesting. It's really interesting because like, you know, when you're around a person and they're in this constant state of turmoil and doubt, and then all of a sudden a big chunk of their life, you know, who you spend your time with, who's your love interest, who's your confidant, and all of a sudden if that's been established in a good way, it's like you're so free in all these other areas. You're free to look at things a little more discerning eye.
Right.
You know, and you have really found your voice, I think, in, you know, since that. It's really interesting.
Thanks, man. That's really cool to
Really,
hear.
it's really interesting to watch. You know, because, I mean, we've been friends for a long time, and like, you know, everybody has relationship issues, but you were always particularly disturbed by them. Like, you would have them, and you could tell it was just like crushing. You just couldn't, you know, it's so hard to get over and then see the big picture. You know, especially when, you know, someone breaks up with you, or, you know, you thought it was going to work out and then it falls apart, you blame yourself. It's like, fuck, so hard to like come into your own if you're alone, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But you learn from that stuff, man. It's good to get completely disintegrated from time to time.
Sure, and then by the time you actually find someone that you really truly are compatible with, you have a character. You've gone through a bunch of different things, and you understand the cause and effect. You understand the early warning signs. You understand, you know, when the relationship going on, when am I being a dick? Am I trying to push her away because I don't want to hang out with her anymore? What's really going on here?
Right.
You know, once you get through that, man, it's very interesting, man. But you were always hilarious, but you've really come into your own over like these last 3 years.
Thanks, man.
It's been really cool to watch.
Me and Natasha actually broke up this morning. So.
Listen, you had a good run. From here on, if you guys kill yourself, they say pills.
Yeah, I've heard
What do they
that.
say? Or electric fence.
Either or both.
There was a guy who just passed away. His name is Sean Tompkins. He was a really nice guy, man. He was a kickboxing trainer for a lot of MMA fighters. Real wild dude, real fun guy from Canada. Boss root and disciple. 37 years old, man. Just died in his sleep.
How?
Never woke up. Heart attack. Supposedly, that's the latest information.
Like clog artery or something?
Who knows? You know, it could be some congenital
Never
thing
tell.
that he just didn't know. He wasn't aware of it. Really crazy, but he was a great guy. So, rest in peace, Sean. Are we rolling? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Neal Brennan.
Hi,
Neal Brennan
guys.
just got done doing the podcast. I've known Neal for a long time.
19 years.
Yeah, long. Is that what,
Yeah, 92.
Wow.
92,
We
93.
met at the Boston Comedy Club in Greenwich
You know what I
Village.
always used to think about you?
What?
That you would be a good action movie hero. I really did. I don't, like, when I didn't see you for a while, like between the Boston and even when you were on News Radio, I was like, hey, he could be like you reminded me of Bruce Willis. But I feel like
There you go.
you went a different way.
Balding with bad relationship choices.
Yeah, you went a different way. But yeah, I always felt like you could have been in action. You're
Well,
one
I
of the
never
few
thought-
guys that I saw that I thought he could be something and you didn't become that. I don't know what that means, but I have pretty good instincts about like I think he could be like a thing, and then you betrayed me.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I would have never thought I would become a sports broadcaster. That's the weirdest one.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah.
never saw it coming.
Did you ever go in for? Did anyone ever consider you for an action movie? Did you ever do like a shitty
I
one?
went in to have a meeting with people when they were doing, they were looking for the next Steven Seagal when Steven Seagal became famous. This is before I'd done anything, and I was living in New York, and I went in for this meeting, and the guy was just like super douchey, like his attitude about martial arts. I just remember thinking I wanted to kick his ass. It was just really dicky, and he was like, so tell me, why should we, like, he literally was like one of those Hollywood movies. So tell me, why should we do a movie with you? I go, wow, is that really how we do this?
Yeah.
That's really what I said. Like, that's really how you talk. You kick back and you go, so tell me, how should we do a movie with you? Why should we do a movie with you? Tell me. And he kicks back and crosses his legs like, ugh.
Because they think it's going to be like some,
what's going to happen next?
They think it's going to be like a story. He came in and I said,
I chop his fucking desk in
Yeah.
half.
exactly.
No,
and
it
we
was-
knew he was our guy.
He was a douchebag. I kept saying that what I don't like about movies is when someone does something absolutely ridiculous. When a guy like runs and jumps and kicks two guys at the same time.
We talked about this
that
last
drives
time.
me nuts. That
Last time
doesn't-
we were here, that's why you make very short action movies.
Yeah.
You make very short, realistic action movies.
That would be my action movie. Headbutt, slam to the balls, throw him on the ground, stomp his head. That's the movie.
Right, but you,
It takes very
yeah,
little time. There's no exchanging blows.
yeah.
Yeah,
And nobody
stomp 'em
waits.
quick.
Nobody waits like Batman
No,
for
no.
one fight to end.
Yeah, they jump on you and they kill you, and then there's no
On
more-
my podcast, The Champs, we talk about how
I like how you
we
did
would.
that.
Yeah, thank you. How my three guys that I do it, the two guys that I do it with, how we would take Blake Griffin.
The three of you together?
Yeah, and my move was going to be I bite his love handle, which is really painful. I did it to my brother one time.
You think that'll stop him?
No, he said he would just punch me.
Yeah,
And then-
that wouldn't stop. You can only hurt someone so much with a bite to the love handle. He's gonna kill you. He's gonna kill you for that.
I'm in real trouble.
Yeah, I would say don't do that. If you bit me, I would kill you for sure, because I would know you'd be capable of doing something really nutty, like biting me. I'd have to kill you.
Why wouldn't you just bite balls too? Why would you go
I'm not
love
gonna
handle?
bite
Balls
I
on
ain't no
pants and
bitch,
shit.
man.
But yeah, you can really fuck someone's balls up through the pants when I think about it.
Yeah.
But by the time you get down there, I'm not gonna just let you bite my balls. I'm gonna move out of the way. It's gonna take you a while to secure a ball biting position.
Yeah, you got to find it. Hey, is
Isn't
that
that
shaft?
time? And
What is that shaft? And you bite a shaft.
Yeah, I've learned a thing or two along the way, and I'm gonna implement it on you while you're trying to bite my cock and balls.
Oh my
No.
cock and balls.
I would say no. So that is a thing that people do, though. Sit around and think, like, how would I do? This guy was going to come after me. Brian has a very unique move to avoid rape in prison, where he pretends that he's going to blow the guy, and then he just pulls his dick off.
Yeah, just take the balls, dig your fingernails in, and run.
That's going to work, right?
It'll work once.
Yeah.
I don't even think it'll work once. If you got a guy with a big, meaty cock, you really think you can pull that cock off with one yank?
Callan's one of those guys who I actually believe if he believed something enough, he could make it so. Do you know what I mean? Like he could believe. He's like
That you could pull a cock
that
off?
like if I had to bet that any one person could pull a cock off of a dude, an erect cock at that.
It'd be Callan?
It would be Callan. I don't even think you could do it. I just believe because you don't believe it. If you gotta believe, you don't believe it. Callan is so delusional just as a person that
I agree,
he would believe.
but I know Brian Callen enough to know that even if he believed that he could pull the cock off, he could not pull the cock off. So I know that you would believe that he could do it, and I would sit there and
Could
go,
Blake
yeah,
Griffin pull
I
the
hear
cock
you,
off?
and I would stand there and go, he's not going to be able to pull the cock off, and he won't be able to pull the cock off. He'll grab it, he'll believe, he'll yank on it. It's hard as fuck, man. It's hard to pull a dick off a body.
Could Blake Griffin do it?
How big is Blake Griffin?
He's huge and his hands are like twice.
Is he like
his
240, 250,
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
He might be able to. It's a little Chinese dick. But if it's like a cock his size, you know? If it's
But
like
I feel like the bigger it would be easier because you could get torque.
Yeah.
you would
Like
think
it would-
so, but there's so much tendons and ligaments, and it's thick around, it's connected, more parts, more cells are connected. mean, I'm sure a soft dick is probably easier to rip off than a hard dick, right?
Yeah. Because you could rip it more. There's more ripping motion where you could dig your nails and just rip the
Kinda
whole.
wrap it around your fingers and get a good
It's
grip.
not elbow skin. It's soft skin.
How this conversation is great.
And I love the
Wonderful
drag
time
break
talking
into it.
on the podcast, and then
Great.
all of a
Blake
sudden,
Griffin
it's some
pulling
guy.
cocks off
He
people.
probably could do it. A real strong guy. Mariusz Pujanowski. He could probably pull your cock off. You know who he is? The strongman guy. He's a
right, yeah.
He takes like fucking
Big
take
tires and shit.
balls, like
Yeah.
big stone balls.
Yeah.
And walk them. Yeah, that guy could probably pull your cock off. That guy. But Brian, I don't know if you can pull someone's cock off.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Bert Kreischer was on the podcast. Maybe one of the funniest podcasts we've ever done.
That was my favorite one I've done.
That's pretty goddamn.
I've never laughed that hard. And I gotta be honest with you, MVP award goes to Brian. Brian, you made me laugh so fucking hard today. I told Brian he should
What were
do
the lines?
AIDS.
That was my dad. I said a pony, Brian said AIDS. And it was even funnier because it was in contrast to the pony.
Yes.
The pony and AIDS said at the same time. It's almost like some layered cake. It's like, oh, the chocolate, the cream.
I was sitting in a pool watching urban people swim.
Yeah.
I've never laughed. You think it's just because we're drunk?
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
Yes.
But it was so, even sober people enjoyed it because right on the message board, right away, people were saying it was one of the best podcasts ever.
Oh, God, it was
This is the first time ever that the podcast has reached #1 out of all the podcasts on iTunes. The most downloaded podcast that was this week was Neal Brennan, and that's amazing. Thank you very much. I'm glad everybody's enjoying it, and I predict this one will be even more funny and bigger. Holla at ya, boy! Got knocked out by an illegal kick. Hi, I'm here with Charlie Murphy. This is me making a video at the end of this. This is one of the late podcasts. We should have drank coffee. I was falling asleep during this one. Hey, the light's on.
He had to put the
Trying
light
to
on
ladies
here
and
to see
gentlemen.
darkness. Darkness only shows up in the light. Going to do a show, get my lamp on.
How can people follow you on Twitter?
At C Murphy Comedy.
C Murphy Comedy.
At C Murphy Comedy on Twitter all day, all night.
All day, all night.
All night.
And what is the name of this movie that you're working on right now?
The name of the movie I'm working on right now is called Pimps Again. It's about pimps being enslaved by Pimp Stalker. It's a slasher movie, but it's also a comedy. And when you see it, remember who wrote it. It's a funny movie.
The Citizen Kane of Pimp Slasher movies.
Citizen Kane and Pimp Slasher movie.
And he's like, well, we tested it, and it tested positive for PCP. And I was like, well, that's not my straw, but I can almost guarantee you that there's nothing like that on it. He's going, how do you know? I was like, if I had to guess what that straw is for, it's for packing weed into a joint. And the dude was like, oh, okay. And he was piecing together. He was fishing me out. Didn't find a PCP on that straw. But he could not fucking figure out for the life of him what a straw was doing in a container of ground up weed. He's like, is this fat moron snorting weed? He was like, is he snorting weed? So he put me to the test going like, we found PCP. I was like, no. It's for this instead. Although I'm not sure, but I think that's what it's for.
Oh, that's hilarious. So how long did they put you in jail for?
I was in that pen. I was in the holding cell for maybe like an hour and a half. They were really nice. It was Canada. I was like right near Montreal. I was on my way to go to Just for Laughs last year.
So they probably did it just to scare you.
No, they did. The dude who came, like, they pulled the bus, we're going through customs, and they come to the door, and it was me, and there were two drivers with me, because we had to double time to get to Montreal, Clovis and Thomas. And so they open the front door, and as soon as the door opens, they smelled weed. I didn't have the fucking blowers on the bus at that point. And they're just like, whoa, smells like dope in here. And I said, well, there was a lot, but not anymore. I smoked it, obviously, before we come here. Why bring sand to the beach? Ha, ha, ha.
You said that?
Literally. And the guy goes, get off the bus. I didn't know it would be a big deal and shit. And so I was in a bathrobe.
How high were you?
I didn't think it through.
You were in a bathrobe?
I was in a bathrobe and I had my slippers on because I had just been sleeping. And they took us inside and they took the bus apart, went through it and whatnot. And there was no weed on the bus as far as I knew. I'll get to that part. They come into I'm sitting in the lobby or station, whatever the fuck, the checkpoint. And then I hear a door open, somebody come in, the guy's like, could you stand up please, sir? And it's the dude, the same guy who's like, get off the bus. And they're wearing the heavy duty vests and they've got
Right.
border patrol and shit. I don't fuck around. So, could you stand up please? And I said, me? And he said, yeah, could you stand up? And I stood up. He goes, could you turn and face the window, sir? And at this point I'm like,
am I getting arrested? And he turned to face the window. He's like, could you put your hand behind your back? Boom, I felt the bracelets clamp on and shit. And he's like, we're arresting you for suspicion of narcotics, some shit, I forget what it was. I was like, and he took me over to a holding cell. Like, that was literally from here into where that picture is. And then he goes, okay, and he took my cuffs off. To go from fucking 10 feet, he put cuffs on me, put me in this, right before he put me in the cell, then took my cuffs off and put me in. And then I sat in that room and shit, and I was like, oh my God, this is it, my life's over, I don't know what's going on. And they're very polite, very cool. You know, they kept bringing me water and shit. And they were like, do you want a donut? And I was like, I do, but not right now, I don't want to eat. I was sweating bullets, man. I'm sitting there like, thank God I was wearing a robe, it was sopping wet. And then they gave me a phone call, I called my lawyer, I said, hold on. And then he called like the best Toronto fucking lawyer or somebody or something, because we were in Montreal, near Montreal. And the dude got on the phone with them, and then he got on the phone with me. They would take me from my cell over to the room to have a phone call or whatever. And he was like, look, they're not going to charge you.
You only get one phone call?
Yeah, I mean,
if someone doesn't answer the phone?
I think you get to go again. It hasn't happened. I mean, I've never done it before, but it was one time. But I called, thankfully it was during business hours for my lawyer's office.
So the lawyer got you out? My
lawyer threw me to a Toronto lawyer who was just like, it's squashed, don't worry about it. He's going, number one, there's under whatever. It was like, it was enough for maybe 2 joints or something. So right then and there, they're like, come on. Number two, because they ain't looking for that. They're looking for bricks.
Someone selling it?
Willie. They're looking for,
someone coming across with
lots of it, or something like that. So they said that's that. Number two, they said, we can't, like, it's on the bus. We don't know that it's yours.
Right.
So the citation is written to the bus. My bus got charged with possession of whatever, under a minor amounts, whatever it is,
right.
under an ounce, way under an ounce or something like that. And they wrote the bus a ticket, but I was copacetic, totally fine.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Cut that on video.
It was weird though, but the dude, like, they were very nice. Like there were some cats.
Whose weed was it?
It was somebody weed else's. That was on the bus that had been left on the bus from a previous trip. Probably like somebody went and hid in his coat jacket on the bus, like my wife's coat jacket, and it was a jacket she hadn't worn in ages and stuff. And so that's where they.
So it was your bus, but somebody had left it on there. Somebody else had left it on. They stashed it there.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Yes. But luckily they let me go.
Oh my God! It's 10:30. That's ridiculous. This is the longest podcast we've ever done.
I mean, I can't speak, but
this motherfucker knows how to talk. He's got some shit to say.
It was good. It was wonderful. It was deep. Great. It was funny.
A lot of fun.
It was a real conversation. I can't wait. What I like to do is now go home, roll a big fat joint, and go read the Twitter feed for the last few hours, because that's the trip where you're just like, oh, they got it, they're dialed in, blah blah blah.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool. It's a lot of fun. I love that we share that philosophy about keeping everything free too.
Yes.
That's so. Hi, bitches. I shouldn't call you that. I don't even know you. Maybe you're easily offended. Did you see that shit that's going on with Cat Williams? Some guy that was a Mexican who was yelling in the audience, and Cat Williams told him that you brought a rusty knife to a gunfight, a 22 that your Aunt Tia gave you at your Sincera. Like, he fucking went off on this dude. And they wrote an article about it in CNN, how the writer was Mexican and he was offended. Meanwhile, he cherry-picked all the information. The guy yelled at Cat Williams, fuck America. And he's like, Cat Williams like, fuck America, sir! Fuck America, sir! Did you say that, sir? And he comes over and he puts a fucking eagle in front of him. God bless America. It's funny, he was being a fucking comedian.
You can't say nothing no more, though.
This Mexican-American writer was offended. And I'm offended that you're so fucking stupid. I wish I remember your name, but I don't. But this nonsense, this PC bullshit, everybody looking to fucking find something to be upset with. That's a live comedy show. If you don't like that raw dog, wild, balls out type of comedy that Cat Williams does, don't go to the fucking show. You should know that he does that anyway. There's plenty of videos of him online. He's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. If you don't like that, don't go to that show. But if you fucking go and you know what he does and you get offended, kill yourself. Kill yourself, you fucking
I'm in the
dummy.
same fucking boat. Mrs. Rogan's gonna come out all this yelling and screaming, 911. These are white people in this neighborhood, dog. You can't be yelling like this, dog.
Especially yelling about Cat Williams.
Got crosses in front of their houses.
Zero wizards.
Not just crosses. Zero wizards. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's it for this. That's it for today. John Hefron in the fucking house. Follow him on Twitter. That's 2 Fs. Hefron.
And an H.
And an F.
Thank you.
Tim Ferriss. Look at him. He's like a schoolboy. He's got his backpack on. He's ready to go. I always feel weird when I wear a backpack in the airport. I always feel like a dork. There's something about a backpack. Like if you sling it over one shoulder, you can kind of be like kind of casual. I'm cool. No big deal. Just got my books. But if you actually have it on, you're like, hey. You know, there's
ready for the hostel.
Yeah, I feel.
Especially with the camo.
Well, that's a tough looking backpack. Mine just looks sort of schoolboyish. Tim Ferriss came on the podcast today, and we talked about so much cool shit, man. That was another one where people are going to have to back up and write names down and books down, and whoa, what's he saying? And we just covered so much shit. And the thing that tripped me out the most was you talking about shoving that stuff up your nose and increasing your short-term memory and learning
that's the person. Yeah.
Chinese when you were doing a Chinese character. That's crazy, man. That's nuts. I've never heard of anything like
human
that.
machine. It's a wonderful thing.
It really is, man. You really have explored a lot of the more interesting aspects of that too, man. You've got an amazing amount of information when it comes to that stuff. So pick up that book, folks. 4 Hour Body and 4 Hour Work Week are Tim's books, and you can check out his website, 4 Hour Blog.
Yeah, 4 Hour Blog, Amazon, obviously, a couple thousand reviews, so you can read the most amusing 1-stars. Those are my favorites.
1-stars?
Yeah, my favorite 1-star review is, do not buy this book because he'll take the money to set a new Guinness record in strangling kittens. Who knew?
Well,
I thought that was a secret.
You've done some crazy records. Like, do you have a tango record or something like that? A world tango record?
Yeah,
How long did you tango for?
spins. No, I did, I think it was 34, 37 spins on Regis and Kelly. I actually did the spins in 1 minute, yeah.
Oh, that's the record? They do it in 1 minute?
With a partner who travels around you in a diameter, it's about 10, 12 feet, so it takes more time than people would think.
How long did you learn how to do that? How long did it take?
6 months in Argentina. So I did like 4 to 8 hours a day of tango until my feet were black on the bottom.
How old are you?
34.
You've been everywhere too. That's amazing. How many different countries have you been to?
35. I had to count them out because to get a visa for India, they make you list every country you've been to in the last 10 years, even though the only thing they want to know is, are you a terrorist from Pakistan? So they could just ask you, have you been to Pakistan? But no, they're like, list out every country you've been to in the last 10 years. So I counted it out, about 35.
That's insane. How do you have the time to do that? That's amazing.
These days, I used to bounce around a lot and do short trips. I find that tiring now. I just like to relocate for a few months at a time if I'm going to do it at all. So we'll see. But I do like relocating. It's like the first time I went abroad at all really was a year in Japan as an exchange student. And I was introduced to judo. I lived with a Japanese family, and when I relocate like that, for me at least, it shows me how much my behavior is just arbitrary, like driving on one side of the street, let's say soaping down in a shower as opposed to before a bath. I mean, it's all just culturally reinforced. And so I find it fun to look through my life again through a fresh lens when I get back to the U.S. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, it's always amazed me how different cultures are. I've only been to maybe 6 or 7 different countries, but like the difference between the way people behave in Brazil as opposed to the way they behave in Germany, as opposed to it's amazing, man. It's amazing how people vary and how adaptable we are to both our environment, culture, and you just get used to certain things, you know?
Yeah. Well, I remember I was staying with this German family, and we were watching The Simpsons, and because it's dubbed into German, she's like, oh, The Simpsons are from the U.S.? Like, I thought it was German.
Oh, that's funny.
Because they had only seen it in German, on German television.
How do they translate the jokes? Do you speak German?
I speak pretty mediocre German.
Do you get the jokes?
The jokes don't translate. I mean, do you know what I mean? They just don't, because they're so subtle, and they're also like these weird cultural references to politicians.
Do they have any stand-up in Germany?
I've never seen stand-up in Germany. I've seen stand-up in Japan, which is cool.
Yeah.
Traditional Japanese stand-up where they have 2 guys like kneeling down or sitting on pads, and they're in traditional kimonos, and it's just 2 guys bantering back and forth.
That's stand-up comedy in Japan?
They do this.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Wow.
So it's all...
They're on their knees in kimonos?
Yeah.
So they'll do the sort of judo, jiu-jitsu style, kneeling on the feet, and then they'll just sit there with like a fan and whack each other on the head and do this banter back and forth.
Oh, so they always do it with another person?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's
So it's sort of a vaudeville-ish sort of thing?
Absolutely. They do a lot of slapstick, ton of slapstick type stuff.
It's weird how cultures, like some cultures are like, it's weird how like America is so stand-up comedy heavy.
Yeah.
So many stand-up comics a lot of them come from England, a lot of them come from, but you never hear about stand-up comics from Germany, We had one that used to come to the Comedy Store, He was like famous in Germany. He was like on a television show, but he wanted to come to America to make it. But everything he did was like crazy physical. It was all like flying through the air and falling on his head. It was all weird, nutty shit, pulling stuff out of bags, smashing them together, noises, sound effects. It's like their sense of humor is alien to ours.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
German sense of humor is very different from the U.S. for sure. I mean, it's
Even an English sense of humor. An English sense of humor almost relies on a higher level of politeness than we currently enjoy. You know, their whole the pacing of their humor, everything relies on being a little bit more polite.
Is there any non-U.S. place like, I don't know, Scotland, Wales, UK, or like Britain? Is there anywhere outside the U.S. that produces consistently good comics?
Australia has some good ones. Australia has some rugged cats. You know, they have some wild dudes. So Australia is like, it makes sense that people are like, what the fuck's going on today, mate? You know, it's like it makes sense. You know that they would like Jim Jeffries, a great comic. He's from Australia. There's another dude that I forget his name, but real funny guy. He's from Australia. There's a few. They have a scene down there too. We performed in Sydney. They got a real comedy club down there.
It's a cool city too.
Yeah, Sydney's a great city. Australia's another place I would live. The apocalypse hit. It's a good move.
So it's out there. It's pretty far away.
Yeah.
Not much of a target.
Yeah. Except crocodiles and fucking snakes and shit, poisonous spiders, and the fact that 80% of the country is uninhabitable.
That's true.
Yeah, you can only live around the edges. The inside,
You won't get killed by people. You'll get killed by other animals.
You might get killed by people.
You might.
You might get killed by aboriginals. What? Tim Ferriss, ladies and gentlemen, 4hourblog.com.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And then also, Miss Grace, if you think you would F, marry, kill Red Band, Sam Tripoli, Teep, who do you F? Who do you marry? Who do you kill?
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Okay. Well, yeah, I know Sam would love to just grudge hump her. He's a big fan.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, we're moving on. Sorry about that. Okay, so apologize for that, but it's kind of live. It's happened to you.
Question.
Okay, so